Happy Mother's Day, church. My name is Moses Camacho. I'm the senior pastor of South Hills Church. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. I'm so glad you can join us today as we celebrate the incredible mothers in our lives. Today, we honor and recognize the sacrifices, love, and dedication of mothers all around the world. Although it's important to acknowledge that some of us may have had complicated relationships with our mother, for many, our mom holds a special place in our heart. Being a mother is not an easy job. And if you're anything like me, you didn't make that job any easier. So today we want to say a special thank you to all mothers, grandmothers, and mother figures for all that you have done. Your unwavering love, dedication, support does not go unnoticed and has shaped us into who we are today. We are grateful for every sacrifice you've made, and we love you. Before I go, I thought it was only fitting to pass this on to some of our very special mothers in our church.
Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. I hope that you're wearing some stretchy pants and a baggy sweatshirt and relaxing today because you work hard every other day.
Motherhood is love and selflessness in its purest form. A mother loves so hard and sacrifices so much to ensure her children are taken care of. I want to encourage you on this Mother's Day to take care of you so that you can be in the best frame of mind and position to be there for your children like you desire to be. Happy Mother's Day.
Monica here from Santa Clarita, wanting to wish you all a happy Mother's Day and encourage you that you are enough, mamas.
For this special day, I thought I would look up a funny joke for you moms out there. Motherhood is a fairy tale in reverse. You start in a beautiful gown and end up cleaning everyone's messes. I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, ladies. We love you. We see you. Hope you have an amazing day.
As moms, we have so many voices telling us what the main things are, what we should do to be the best parents, what our kids should have, what they should experience. And while all those things can be absolutely wonderful, when I look back at the takeaways with my children, it was the being that stands out. The other thing is the who's the main thing. Psalms 127 says, "Unless the Lord builds your house, the builders labor in vain." No matter what season you're in, moms, be present and let the Lord build your house. Happy Mother's Day.
South Hills moms, happy Mother's Day to all of you, and especially to my Costa mamas out there. I just want you to know that I'm thinking about you and praying for you, and that I hope you experience a new sense of peace and rest and comfort today, knowing that you are loved and seen not just for what you do, but for who you are. And I couldn't be more grateful to be there with you. So happy Mother's Day. I love you.
Hola familia de South Hills. Hoy celebramos a todas las mujeres con el trabajo más difícil pero más gratificante de todos. El trabajo que dura 24 horas, 7 días a la semana. A aquellas que con su amor y cuidado nos demuestran que su rol en nuestras vidas es irreemplazable. Hoy queremos celebrarte a ti, mujer. ¡Feliz Día de las Madres!
Hey moms, I might have only been a mom for a little bit now, but I can tell you one thing. Being a mom is the best and also most challenging thing I've ever done. I wouldn't change it for the world, and I'm so much more thankful now for my mom and all that she's done for me. So today, put your feet up, and I just want to say Happy Mother's Day.
Hello, ladies of South Hills. You know, the Bible actually commands us to rest. So get some rest. Do you? Take a nap. I'm gonna try to. Happy Mother's Day.
We all have hard things to do, but cave quicker than we'd like. We all have our breaking point. Jesus overcame enormous opposition. What can he teach us about how to do the same? The rules of resilience.
We're going to continue this series that we started last week, and the girls have this cool thing at school, and it's called a watchdog. And the cool thing is that the dads get to come in and help out. Now, the idea is you're helping out the teachers and the staff, but the cool thing is you also get to hang out with your kid for a little bit too. So that's really neat. And what I noticed was the girls were so proud to introduce me to their friends. Like they couldn't wait. They're like, Daddy, come here, come here. This is my dad, this is my dad, this is my dad. They wanted me to meet everybody, right? They wanted me. And I'm curious, for parents of teenagers or older kids, is it always that way? Are they always, because it seems like it's never going to end. It seems like they're always going to be excited. And I even told them, I'm like, you know what, one day, because we're kind of a fun family, and one day you're going to bring a boy home. They're like, ew, gross, never. I'm like, one day you will. And I am going to embarrass you. And they're like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I am going to wear my underwear on the outside of my shorts. I'm going to wear my T-shirt backwards. I'm going to wear a USC football helmet and goggles and oven mitts. And I'm only going to speak as the Swedish chef from the Muppets. So when he says, hi, Mr. Valencia, I'm going to go, Borshni, and that's all I'll talk about. And she's like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, it would be funny. And she goes, it'd be funny for you. I don't know if it'd be funny for everybody. And that leads me to my very first point. The people around you shape what's normal for you. You ever notice that? The people that you put around you are going to shape what's actually normal for you. So if you have a fun, gregarious family, you're probably going to be fun. Now, how many of you are like, I like you, I really like you, but I'm not sure you're ready to meet my family yet because we're a little crazy. And so I'm going to wait until I really, really think you're ready, and then I'll introduce you to my wacky family. Now, that could be a lot of fun, right? Because you could have a really fun family. But what if it's not so fun? Now, what if you have like a family that maybe yells a lot, maybe is judgmental, maybe is rude, maybe makes you feel insecure? What happens there? And then when that happens, what happens when what's normal for you is no longer good for you? Then what? Then what do you do? Now, here's the thing. We like to think that we're free thinker, independent people. We love thinking that, right? We love to think that. And people in high school, I think if you talk to high school teachers, they would probably tell you this. Like, you know what? The kids come in and they go, we're free thinkers. We don't want to think like our parents because we're free thinkers. But they're really not free thinkers. What they are is they're just trying to fit in because we're also social beings. So they're not really free thinkers. They're just whoever they hang around with, they're going to just think like they do, whatever they think. So they're truly not really free thinkers. Think back when you were in high school or when I was in high school. I didn't want to show you pictures of when I was in high school, okay? I had these terrible Z Cavarici pants that were like ballooned out and cuffed at the bottom, and my hair looked like a record was on it. It was like super out there, and it was just like embarrassing. And a lot of us don't talk and act or even dress the way we really want to because we want to fit in, because we're social beings, and we want to just be part of the group. But what happens when that's not so good for you? Okay, Jim Rohn famously said, quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about that. Now, if that's true, here's my point. If you have a certain if you have certain attitudes or actions that bother you, you may need to address who's around you. Okay, this is something you've really got to pay close attention. If you don't like who you are, you might want to start with who are you putting around you. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. In other words, even if you're on a good path, the wrong combination of not the best people around you are going to take you off of that good path. And you might be, noticing that you're more cynical, you're more angry, you're more judgmental, and you're starting to, I don't like to be like that. Anybody ever go hang out with some people and you come back, you're like, I don't really like who I am around them. I don't like it when I come back home, I don't feel good about myself. They don't make me feel like who I want to be, and I don't like that. Now, I'm not suggesting to trash all your relationships. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be very wise on who you're putting around in your inner circle because they're going to shape who you are, okay? It's not always easy, but remember this. Becoming more resilient in an area will require you to be honest about the impact of your relationships on that area, okay? So you want to be very careful. They're going to shape who you are. Now, last week, we started talking about Gideon. Gideon is in the Old Testament. Now, Gideon is in Israel, and Israel is in a very dark place right now. It's a really tough place. And because Midian, not Gideon, Midian is ruler over Israel right now, and he is oppressing the people. He's literally starving them to death, and they're in a really tough spot. Gideon is hiding out, and an angel appears before him, and he calls him mighty warrior. And Gideon's like, I don't think you've got the right guy. I'm not a mighty warrior. I'm actually hiding right now. And he's like, no, God sees you, and you're a mighty warrior. And through a series of small steps, Gideon becomes that mighty warrior. Now, he has agreed to go fight the Midianites. But here's the thing, the Midianite army is enormous. So Gideon does what any of us would do. They're a huge army. I've got to get as many bodies as I can. I'm not going to be picky. I just need as many bodies as I can to do my best. But God has a different view here. Judges 7:1 says this. Early in the morning, Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and all his men camped at the spring of Harod. The camp of Midian was north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, you have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or Israel would boast against me. My own strength has saved me. Now, announce to the army, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead. So 22,000 men left, while 10,000 remained. Okay, so God is like, I'm going to thin the herd, basically. You already have a small army, way too small for the Midianites. But now 22,000 leave, and you've only left with 10,000. And this is not random, because God's saying those are people that are going to bail on you anyway. They're not going to be there anyway. Think about this in your own lives, guys. Does it matter that you've got millions of people following you on Instagram or thousands of friends on Facebook or whatever it is you're doing? Unless you've got the people that are going to go into the battle with you, it doesn't matter, because they're going to bail the first time things get hard anyway. So when you go like, well, look at all these people who know who I am, big deal. Because when you're in the thick of it, in the really thick of it, those are people that are going to be gone anyway. So they're not really there for you. So God's like, thin out the herd. Here's the point. And you might want to remember this. Write it down. Take a picture, something. You can't solve deep problems with shallow relationships. Remember that. You cannot solve deep problems with shallow relationships. Proverbs 25:19 says, like a broken tooth or a lame foot is a reliance on the unfaithful in a time of trouble. Now, if you're wondering, what does that verse mean? It means partnering with the wrong people prevents even the right people from giving their best. So God thins it out. 22,000 people leave. Now, if you're Gideon, or if you're, Gideon, you're like, oh my goodness, 23,000. I mean, 10,000 against all those people. God's like, I'm not done, bro. Judges 7:4 says this. But the Lord said to Gideon, there are still too many men. Take them down to the water, and I will thin them out for you there. If I say this one shall go with you, he shall go. But if I say this one shall not go with you, he shall not go. So Gideon took the men down to the water. There the Lord told him, separate those who lap the water with their tongues as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink. 300 of them drank and from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. So the first time he's thinning them out by attitude. The second time it's by approach. Now there's a reason he's doing this. He's like, I don't need impulsive thinkers. Okay, I need people that are going to be reasonable. I'm looking for out of the box thinkers for you. So he says, I think you need to thin the herd even a little bit more. Look what the Bible says in Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise, you can become wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. Walk with wise, you become wise. Now, getting back to Gideon, Judges 7:7 says this, and I'm going to go from 8 to 12. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all others go home. Okay, he starts off with thousands. 22,000 leave. He has 10,000. He's like, I'm going to thin it up more. Now you're down to 300 people, okay, against an army that is just infinitely huge. Here's what this means. It doesn't matter how many people are there. If they're not good for you, it's not going to do you any good. Guys, have you ever been in a relationship with someone and they treated you poorly? They weren't very good to you, and you're like, I got to hold on to this person because I don't want to be alone at Christmas. I don't want to be alone during the holidays. I got to hold on to this relationship, and they're still wanting to leave. You know what you need to do? Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, because they're not going to be very good for you anyways. They're not going to be there for you when times get hard. They're not going to be there for you when you really need somebody. It's a shallow relationship, so see you later. Goodbye. Verse 8 says, so Gideon sent the rest of the Israelites home, but kept the 300 who took over the provisions and trumpets of the others. And now the camp of Midian lay below him in the valley. And then in verse 12, the Midianites, the Amalekites, and all the other eastern peoples had settled in the valley, thick as locusts. Their camels could no more be counted than the sand on the seashore. Now think about this. 300 people against so many camels and army that it looked like sand. It just was just like infinite. And you got 300. And God's like, yeah, we're good. This is good. That's good. Guys, that's why it's so important to have people around you. This is why I've given my life to God's church. Is it because we're better than people that don't go to church? Of course not. I'm not, Is it because we are here to tell everybody what to do? No. Is it here so we could judge everybody? Of course not. It's here because I'm not strong enough to go into battle by myself. And I need people that are going to remind me of who God is in my life. That's why I'm here. I need that reminder. When things get tough, I need people that are going to be there with me in the foxholes saying, God has got something better. I'm praying for you. I believe this with you. I need that. Okay? So if you're wondering, I don't know how I could do this. Remember this. What you can weather is more about who's with you than what's stacked against you. Okay? Always take inventory. Who do I have around me? Are these the people that are really going to be there for me? Otherwise, it's a shallow relationship. Now, we see this echoed all throughout Scripture. Ecclesiastes 4:9 says, 2 are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. In other words, if you're trying to do life on your own and thinking, well, I'm just going to be a good person and that's good enough, you're doing it wrong because nobody's that good. I'm not, and you're not. We do this by relationships. I have heard people say, I don't really need to go to church to be a Christian. It doesn't make any sense, okay? Because that's why God gave you the church, because he says you're not good enough on your own. You can't do this on your own. I know because I made you. So I'm going to put other imperfect people around you so that you guys don't go out and judge everybody, but you can trust me. I'm going to be able to handle this. You need relationship. Guys, understand this. If you're just going to church just to go to church, it's not going to do anything. If you go to church just to sneak in and sneak out so nobody meets you, it's not going to do anything. The church is no place for shallow relationships. It's a place where we get real and honest. When Melanie and I started this, I said, Melanie, I want to be as honest as I can with these people, and it's going to mean throwing out some dirt on us. And she said, go ahead. I don't want to be in a phony church. I don't want to be around phony people. Go ahead. Okay? So it's no place for surfacey relationships. Proverbs 18:24 says, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Now, when you choose people in your inner circle, you need to choose people that will make you better. Now, what does better mean? Better means closer to Christ, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. That's what we're all trying to do. We are all trying to go, God, I can't handle this. I need to get close and really learn how to depend on you. That's the goal at the end of the day. Being a pastor is kind of fun because you get people telling you what you should do all the time. It's fun. You do this. You should talk about this. You should do that. You shouldn't do this, but you should do that. Here's the deal with those types of people. Those people do not want the truth. They want you to repeat and echo their version of their truth. That's what they want, okay? I'll go to your church if you say everything the way I want it to be said. This is the way, and that's it. But if I challenge somebody, they don't like that. They don't want to be challenged. No, I'm always right, and you just do what I want you to do, monkey boy. Go up there and say a couple verses, and And here's the deal. If you only have people around you that are going to agree with everything you say, they're not good friends. I'm sorry to tell you that. If you have people around you that only agree with everything you say, they're not good for you because they're not growing you at all. You're just staying an infant. They're just telling you what you think you're right. You could be driving off a cliff. They're going, you're driving great. You're the best driver ever. Just keep going. You'll be fine. And it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. You got to make sure that you're putting the right people around you. Now, you could always tell the people that love you because those are the people that are going to tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. And sometimes, guys, it's not easy. When I have conversations with people and they're like, I'm seeing this, it doesn't make any sense, or I don't understand this. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, but it's not always easy to hear, guys. It's not always easy. But here's what it's basically this. It's the difference between a buddy and a brother. That's what it is. I have lots of buddies, okay? I have lots of buddies that I like to go and watch Rams games with, maybe have a beer, have some pizza, hang out, okay? But those are a lot of buddies. A brother is someone, though, that's going to be there with you when it's not so good, when it's really tough, when the everything's really hitting the fan and it's not good. Have buddies, have lots of buddies, but make sure you're selecting your brothers or sisters in a very, you're really vetting that. Proverbs 17:17 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Now, what does that mean? A buddy is someone you hang out with when things are good. I have lots of buddies. A brother is someone who shows up for you when things are bad, or a sister is someone who shows up for you when things are bad. That's the point here. What's the point to all this? You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. Hope that makes sense. And changing some of those around you has the power to change everything about you, okay? You may want to remember that. So when talking about relationships, guys, don't leave anything to chance. If you think about it this way, if your group doesn't match your goals, you're not going to grow, period. Now, here's where I'm saying this, okay? It is amazing what we get used to. It is truly amazing. You could have somebody saying, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a teacher, I want to be whatever, I want to work on computers or whatever the case is. I want to do that someday. But if they have the wrong people around them, that same person with that same goal could get used to living off the government and playing Nintendo all day. They can get used to it because that's the people around them are saying that's good enough. It's amazing what you can get used to, okay? So when selecting people that are closest to you, pick a person who's resilient in a way you want to be and put yourself around them regularly. And that's pick a person who's resilient in a way you want to be and put yourself around them regularly. It can come from the most unlikely of places. It really can. You know, it's Mother's Day today, and I want to share a story not only about Mother's Day, but it's also Foster Care Awareness Month this month. And I want to share a story with you about what God could do if the right person is around you under unbelievable circumstances. Can we show this story?
Steve Hartman has the story of a nurse who's a lifesaver in every sense of the word.
At Community Hospital North in Indianapolis, newborn intensive care nurse Katrina Mullen has a reputation for going above and beyond. But as you'll soon see, the lengths she went to for these triplets and their 14-year-old mother is beyond compare.
Being that age and having all three babies premature and sick was going to be a hard road for her.
Katrina was once a teenage mother herself, and she knew that this young mom, Shariah Small, didn't have a stable home life. So, even after the babies were discharged, Katrina continued to visit them and shower them with gifts.
Pacifiers or bottles, 3 matching outfits for them.
What is driving you to do all this?
Just love. I mean, I loved her, I loved them, and I just wanted to see her be a successful parent.
She was just there. She was there emotionally, she was there physically, she was there mentally.
Which was all new for Shariah.
Yeah, she was really the only person there.
But Shariah still didn't have a proper home for the kids. So eventually, the Department of Child Services intervened. They began looking for a foster family, or more like multiple foster families, because finding one place for a teenage mother and her triplets would be nearly impossible. And that's when Shariah got a text message that simply said, "I can't wait for you to come home."
Never mind that Katrina already had 5 kids of her own.
What color is that?
She took on these other 4 without giving it a second thought.
Pop. It's been exhausting. It's been crazy and busy. But I've never once sat and said, I wish I hadn't done this.
But that seems illogical. You just listed a bunch of reasons why this is a terrible idea. And then you say, I would absolutely do it again.
I would absolutely do it again.
In fact, just a few months ago, Katrina adopted Shariah, who just finished high school and now plans to go to college. All thanks to the nurse, who went above and beyond some more.
You're wondering, yeah, why not, right? If you're wondering what it looks like to be a Christian, that's what it looks like to be a Christian. I am so over seeing people think, I'm just going to post this thing to show people that I'm right because I'm a Christian on social media, or I'm just going to go shout from the rooftops at anybody who doesn't agree with me. I'm going to put them in their place. I'm going to win an argument that I'm a Christian and I'm right and they're wrong because they're not. So I'm going to go out there and make them look done. I am done hearing that. That's what it looks like. Because all of those other things make me look good. Oh, did you see what I said to that person? I told them right off. I told them this, that, the other. That's great, but what did you do for somebody else? Because if you're not doing anything for somebody else, who cares? If you're only interested in making yourself look good, who cares? It's about doing something for someone else. I guarantee you, I don't know that young lady, but she had the wrong people around her growing up. And it took one person to be around her to change her life. That young lady is going to go off to do amazing things because somebody cared enough to be in her life. That's the importance of having the right people around you. You see what I'm saying? Choose wisely. Have as many buddies as you want. But when it comes to the people that are closest to you, make sure they're going to be with you when things get rough and tough. Those are the people that are going to still be with you. Guys, that's why that's why I'm in this church, guys. I love it. I love that I'm able to not always have things go right. Today, in fact, everything went wrong. The elevator broke. We literally had to lift all this stuff by ourselves up the stairs. You know? Melody, happy Mother's Day and anniversary. Can you lift off this stuff up the stairs? You know? So, I mean, but it's just seeing people walk in, come in. Mark Nichols out there, I know he's watching, and some members of the band that came through, and it was just unbelievable. So, Hope and everybody just came in and did all that stuff. So, but it's huge. Make sure you're choosing wisely who you put around you, because they not only have the power to uplift you like nobody else, but they have the power to destroy you too. Okay, so make sure you're real careful with that. Let's pray. Father, I just thank you so much for this church. I thank you for what you have done in your church, God. That it's just unbelievable. I can't believe what you've done in this church. That makes it such an open place, such a free place where we could be imperfect, be ourselves, be flawed, be messy, and still come together, God, and just love each other, be part of this community. Father, we just thank you in advance for what you're going to do in our church. And we're excited for all the things that you have in store for everybody here, God. It's no accident everybody is here today, Jesus. And I just pray that you're with every single one of these people, including and especially our moms today, God. Thank you for what they do and how they do it. It's unbelievable. And I know that she is with you in heaven, so can you give my mother an extra hug for this Mother's Day? It's in your name. Amen.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you for watching our service online, whether you're watching it for the first time or you're watching it again because you enjoyed the service so much from the weekend. I'd like to take a moment and dive into our giving. Every week we give people the opportunity to give back and give to the local church so that God can continue to bless your lives and bless your finances. Here at South Hills, we believe that everything comes from God. We believe that He's the one that chose us and brought us into this world, gave us our gifts and talents and abilities. And I just want you to know that when we give, we are giving back what God has already given to us. If you've ever seen any of our envelopes at a South Hills campus, you'll see on there that it says, every week at South Hills, your generosity is giving people the opportunity to live a better story. And there's a scripture on there in Matthew chapter 6, verse 21 that says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I want to encourage you today to click down below and set up your giving, whether it's for the first time or whether you're doing reoccurring giving. We have 4 ways to give here at South Hills. 1, you can do it in person at any of our campuses through an envelope. Or 2, you can actually text text any amount that you would like to 84321. And the third way is to download our Church Center app. I encourage you to do this one because the Church Center app gives you opportunity to stay connected with our church and your campuses. It's a great tool and resource for you to know what's going on. And the fourth way to give is to give online. You can go to southhills.org/give and you can set up your giving there. Whether you're a guest of our church or whether you are a member of our church, whether you simply just like to watch our services, I encourage you to trust God with your finances so that He can bless and anoint your finances and you can be trusting God in this journey of living life to the fullest. I love you and thank you for watching our online service today.